figure. The dome swallows all sound, even her footsteps as she retreats back toward the rest of the lab. Yvette Olson, one of her researchers, isn't looking at her attention fixed on the tablet she's holding. Her expression is grim. The door to the chamber shuts behind them. "Well?" Tamsin asks, eyes adjusting once more to the light. "There's been an incident at the boundary," Yvette says. "We officially have a problem. A few more months, maybe a year or two, and her name will enter history. Unless everything falls apart first." The city is sinking. Tamsin's voice rolls out across the conference room. She is pristine, her scarlet curls perfectly defined and gleaming down her back, her dress precisely tailored, her makeup impeccable. Her audience, made up of most of Miraca Dynamics' C-suite executives and many of the other R&D section heads, watches her carefully, rigid in their seats. Murmurs ripple through the room, but they're soft, respectful, and cautious. She taps the clicker in her hand. Behind her, the dark screen comes to life, showing a wireframe model of the city. It stretches well above ground in the downtown core and plunges below the surface in a worn path of subway tunnels. Another tap. The map lights up at 3 different points along the tunnels. The first reports came from 3 different engineering teams monitoring the subway expansion project. Survey equipment at each site began showing a regular, consistent decrease in altitude. After ruling out sampling errors, mechanical defects, and algorithmic GPS drift, we went hunting. The altitude drops are minor, and there have been no fissures in the earth, no delays to the construction work underway. But while the subway project isn't officially hers, her research is the reason Miraca Dynamics bought and privatized the crumbling network of infrastructure below the city. It's her the engineers come to, because anything that impacts the subways impacts her. It's a lot easier to build unsanctioned labs that far down with a plausible reason to have teams working on subterranean maintenance, and the desperate thankfulness of the city's government helping them not look too closely. So, if there's going to be a problem, she needs to be seen dealing with it. She has to lead the charge. It's the only way she can ensure her research continues in the meantime. On the screen, the unremarkable green lines sketching out the city turn to orange in a jagged ring, tracing the rough outline of the consolidated metropolitan area. The image shifts down, but at this scale, it's not so much visible as subconsciously unsettling. By taking measurements at sites across the city, we have been able to determine that the subsidence is happening in nearly every neighborhood of San Siroco. Not the suburbs, though. On a whim, they'd checked population density maps, and that had almost fit the pattern. But after months of looking, they've found no direct mathematical correlation with the boundary, nor any other explanation for the sudden stop. It's almost as if the subsidence simply ends beyond what Tamsin thinks of as San Siroco proper, ignoring every objectively measurable variable. Confirmation bias, she's sure. The geological traits the sites have in common are superficial at best, with nothing directly putting them at risk of subsidence. Only a handful are connected to the subway system. And over the last 2 months of observation, all have subsided at a rate of 27 millimeters per month, consistently. That gets a reaction. Several different low conversations spring up across the darkened room. At the far end of the conference table, Mix Woodfield, dressed in her usual sharp black suit, watches Tamsin. Not the screen behind her, not the burgeoning tumult around them both. The muscles between Tamsin's shoulders tighten. There's going to be an unavoidable discussion after this about her withholding of this information. For all the freedom she's been granted working for Miraca, there are limits. She's crossed one. Tamsin does not wait out the chatter. If she tried, she might be standing there for hours. Instead, she lifts one pale hand, advances the presentation once more. She makes herself relax and ignore Woodfield. The wireframe begins to sink again, this time noticeably. Everybody in the room falls silent, staring. I don't think I have to tell you that this degree of subsidence is unprecedented. Its consistency across such a wide area is deeply concerning, as is its...